It starts subtly, barely noticeable at first. People you thought would stay forever begin to drift away. Conversations that once filled you with laughter now echo with emptiness. There's a strange restlessness under your skin, a quiet ache that doesn't seem to go away no matter how many distractions you chase. You wake up at 2 a.m. Without knowing why. You stare at the ceiling and feel a pull you can't explain, something heavy, invisible, pressing against your chest, whispering that something is about to change. You've tried to brush it off. You tell yourself it's stress, exhaustion, the weight of daily survival. But deep down, you know it's something more. You can feel it in the way time itself feels shorter, in how noise no longer comforts you, in how silence suddenly feels alive, as if heaven itself is waiting for you to notice. Lately, the things that once satisfied you don't hold the same taste. The places that used to feel like home now seem foreign. You look around and realize that people are moving in different directions. That what used to connect you now divides you. It's like invisible threads are being cut one by one. And though it hurts, there's also relief. You can sense that you're being separated, though you don't yet know why. Your emotions fluctuate without warning. One moment, you feel strong, ready to rebuild. The next, you crumble, overwhelmed by invisible weight. You feel watched, guided, and tested all at once. Every delay feels intentional. Every coincidence feels scripted. It's as if your whole life is being rearranged quietly by hands you cannot see. Listen, this is not random. This is not chaos. This is alignment. Heaven does not shout. It rearranges. It pulls people away before they can sabotage your next chapter. It closes doors that your heart refuses to close. It lets the weight press down until you stop fighting what you were never meant to carry. You're not losing your mind. You're losing your distractions, and you're being pulled out of the noise so you can hear what you've been running from. That pressure on your spirit is not punishment, it's preparation. Something inside you knows that the ordinary life you once lived cannot hold what is forming inside you now. The shaking you feel is not destruction, it's divine reordering. Everything unstable must fall so that what is eternal can stand. Every false comfort must fade so truth can rise. That's why the familiar feels uncomfortable and the old patterns no longer work. You are being drawn towards stillness, toward a moment where heaven will finally speak. Stop for a moment to take a breath. Feel the silence pressing in. This is what divine interruption feels like. When heaven wants your attention, it doesn't send lightning, it sends silence. It isolates you, not to punish, but to position. Right now, the noise of your world is dimming because heaven has decided to speak. You've been feeling the call in your chest, an ache to understand, to make sense of what's happening. And here you are, reading these words, not by coincidence, but by divine appointment. Heaven paused your timeline for a reason. You are standing at the edge of awareness, right before revelation. And though you don't yet understand, you can feel that something holy is happening. Every delay, every heartbreak, every sudden loss of connection has been part of the orchestration. You've been carried here, to this exact moment, because heaven refuses to let you keep sleeping through your calling. The old version of you is fading. That's why it feels like you're dying inside, because the old self cannot survive what's coming. You are being peeled open, reshaped, refined. And though the pain feels unbearable, something inside you whispers, keep going. Stillness is your instruction now. Listen deeper than the surface noise. The answers won't come from your mind, they will rise from your spirit. When everything else falls silent, heaven speaks. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15. In quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Those words carry the weight of heaven. They are not gentle poetry, they are divine strategy. Quietness is not passivity, it is alignment. Trust is not weakness, it is surrender. You are being called into stillness so that divine strength can awaken within you. This is not the time to run, it is the time to yield. If this message has stirred something deep in you, pause right here. Don't rush past it. Let the stillness wrap around your spirit. Then, as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 333 below. That number symbolizes divine alignment. Heaven's whisper that says, I am with you in this pause. Like and share this message so others who feel this same unseen shift may realize they are not alone. Subscribe to stay connected to the words that heaven releases in due season. And if you feel led to give or sow into this moment, do so as your act of gratitude, your way of saying, I'm listening, Lord. You are not being ignored, you are being prepared. The silence is not absence. It's the sound of heaven rearranging your life. Don't take this lightly. This stillness is sacred. There comes a moment when the weight of your purpose feels unbearable, so heavy that you want to walk away from it entirely. You sense the divine pull, but you also feel the fear that comes with it. It's not the fear of failure, it's the fear of what obedience will cost. This is the tension between calling and comfort, between destiny and doubt. You can feel that something is being asked of you, something sacred and irreversible, yet your mind trembles at the thought of stepping into it. You say, why me? Surely someone else is better qualified, more confident, more ready. But heaven is silent. The call remains. You are not the first to feel this weight. There was once a man who carried the same fear, a man named Moses. He wasn't born in a palace to rule, he was placed in one to survive. He didn't seek greatness. Greatness was thrust upon him. And when the divine call finally came, he did what many of us secretly do, he tried to run. Moses had already lived through exile. He had made mistakes. He had buried his past in the sand and built a quiet life far from the noise of destiny. Then, one ordinary day, he stumbled upon something extraordinary, a bush that burned but was not consumed. Fire in the desert, yet no ashes to show for it. It was the language of heaven, a message that would not go away until he turned aside to see. When he approached, the voice called his name twice, but Moses, Moses, and from that moment, everything changed. The same God who had once seemed distant now spoke with authority that pierced his soul. The call was clear: go back to Egypt, confront Pharaoh, and lead my people to freedom. But Moses hesitated. He questioned his worth, his voice, his ability. Who am I that I should go, he asked. And when God gave him reassurance, Moses still argued. He stammered, he resisted, he pleaded for another to be chosen. The burden of calling pressed down so hard that even standing felt like a battle. He didn't doubt God's power, he doubted his own place in God's plan. And maybe that's where you are right now. You can feel the fire, but you're afraid of what it will cost to answer it. You've seen too much, lost too much, failed too many times to believe you could still be the vessel heaven wants to use. But the same God who chose Moses chooses with precision, not by appearance. He sees what others overlook: the endurance built through pain, the humility forged through exile, the quiet strength that comes from survival. Moses wasn't chosen because he was confident. He was chosen because he was broken enough to depend entirely on God. And that is what the weight of calling does. It strips you of self-reliance. It exposes the cracks in your confidence so that divine strength can pour in. The calling feels unbearable because it was never meant to be carried alone. When Moses finally obeyed, he didn't do so because the fear vanished. He did so because faith became louder than fear. Every step toward Egypt was a war against his old self. Yet through that obedience, heaven unleashed miracles. The Red Sea parted. Manna fell. Water flowed from a rock. The impossible bowed to faith. You see, the calling will always feel too heavy for human shoulders, because it's designed to make you lean on divine power. Heaven never sends you unprepared, it sends you unqualified, so that grace can qualify you. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus chapter 4, verse 12. Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. Those words echo through every generation of those who tremble under the call. Heaven never asks you to be perfect, only willing. The God who commands you to go is the same one who promises to equip you on the way. So, if your heart has been restless under the weight of what you know you're meant to do, this is your moment to exhale. Stop trying to measure your worth. Stop listing your weaknesses as reasons to disobey. Heaven already accounted for your flaws before it called your name. Here's your act of peace today. Find a quiet space, turn off your phone. Silence the world and sit in stillness for 3 minutes. Breathe deeply and whisper, Lord, if you're calling, I'm listening. Don't ask for clarity first, ask for courage. Don't beg for the plan, invite the presence. As you breathe, let the fear dissolve into trust. Imagine the same fire that burned before Moses now flickering before you, not to destroy, but to remind you that divine purpose cannot be extinguished. You are safe in obedience. You are never sent alone. Feel the calmness settle over your soul like morning light after a long night. In that stillness, heaven whispers peace, not the fragile kind the world gives, but the deep kind that anchors your heart. Stay there for a moment and let peace become your confirmation. When you rise from that stillness, you will not have every answer, but you will have peace. Because the same God who said go to Moses still speaks the same word to those who hesitate at the edge of destiny. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. You are not being crushed, you are being called. And every trembling step you take in faith will be met by divine power that knows no weakness. Sometimes the loudest battles are the ones no one else can see. You carry yourself through the day as if everything is fine. Yet inside there's a constant war. You smile in conversations, but when you're alone, the silence feels like a battlefield. The fight isn't outside of you, it's within you. Every thought, every doubt, every unspoken fear becomes a weapon the enemy tries to use against your peace. You want to believe that you're strong enough to keep standing, but something in you keeps whispering, I'm tired. You're exhausted from trying to explain feelings that words can't contain. You've been faithful, yet overlooked. Kind, yet misunderstood. Brave, yet secretly breaking. But listen carefully, this inner battle is not a sign of failure. It is the evidence that your spirit refuses to surrender to darkness. You are fighting because something inside you still believes there is more. You have been surrounded, pressed, and tested, yet there is a light inside you that refuses to die. The world doesn't see it, but heaven does. Every time you chose forgiveness instead of anger, you were winning. Every time you prayed through tears, you were advancing, and every time you woke up and tried again when your soul screamed to give up, you were standing on holy ground. You have been in a season of silent warfare, one that doesn't require weapons of flesh but endurance of spirit. It's not the kind of battle that earns applause or recognition. It's fought in the midnight hours, in the quiet moments of heartbreak, in the hidden corners of your mind where fear tries to whisper louder than faith. You've wondered why peace feels so far away. You've asked, God, why do I feel like this? And yet, even in your weakest moments, you have not been abandoned. What feels like silence from heaven is actually strategy. God doesn't always shout in the storm. Sometimes He strengthens you in the stillness so you'll know peace even when the wind doesn't stop. Remember this: the enemy only attacks what carries power. If your life feels like a constant struggle, it's because your light disturbs darkness. You've been wondering why people change around you, why certain doors close suddenly. It's because your presence exposes what was hidden. You are not cursed, you are consecrated. There's a deep truth you must hold on to. The inner battle is where victory begins. Before you conquer anything around you, you must conquer what's inside you. And though it feels endless, you are not losing. You are being refined. The Lord Himself has not forgotten your quiet faithfulness. The sleepless nights, the silent tears, the prayers whispered with shaking hands. He heard everyone. Your hidden war has been seen by heaven, and you are not fighting in vain. The Apostle Paul once wrote words that pierce through the ages, and they speak directly to your soul today. It was written in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. This scripture reveals what you've been feeling all along. Your fight was never about people, money, rejection, or misunderstanding. It has always been about light versus darkness. The battle is spiritual, and your endurance is proof that your spirit is stronger than you realize. You are not weak for feeling weary. You are human, but you are also spirit, and your spirit has been trained in fire. This is why, even in exhaustion, something in you keeps standing. You've lost count of how many times you've wanted to quit. Yet here you are, still breathing, still believing, still moving forward. That's not coincidence. That's divine resilience. There is peace waiting for you, but not the kind that comes when the battle ends. The peace you're about to step into is the kind that exists in the middle of the storm. It's not the absence of struggle. It's the presence of God in the struggle. So here's what I want you to do today. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. For 1 minute, release every thought that tells you you're not enough. Let go of the pressure to have everything figured out. Just breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart unclench and whisper to your own soul, I am still here. Feel that strength disguised as peace. That's heaven reminding you that your survival was never small, it was sacred. Now open your eyes, look around. You've made it through every battle that once made you think you wouldn't. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're being rebuilt from the inside out. And now, as an act of agreement with heaven's peace, I want you to comment these words below: I choose peace. Write it not as a wish, but as a declaration. You're not saying it because you already feel peaceful. You're saying it to invite peace in. You're saying it to remind darkness that you will not be ruled by fear anymore. After you write it, take a deep breath again. Let your spirit settle. Like this message, share it with someone who might be fighting silently just like you. Because peace multiplies when it's shared. Your war within is not a curse, it's a calling. You're not breaking down. You're breaking through. And the peace you choose today will become the weapon that carries you into tomorrow. There are moments when your very presence seems to draw resistance. You walk into rooms and the atmosphere shifts. People who once embraced you begin to withdraw. Plans fall apart the moment you start to move forward. You've wondered if you did something wrong, if somehow you brought this chaos upon yourself. But hear this, you didn't attract trouble. You disturbed darkness. Your light has been noticed in unseen realms. The closer you move toward purpose, the more violently opposition rises. This is not punishment, it is proof. The moment you decided to walk in truth, everything false began to fall away. This is what happens when light collides with darkness. It's not gentle. It's not quiet. It's an eruption. The enemy doesn't fight those who are harmless. He fights those who are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. You, beloved, are dangerous because your obedience exposes what's been hiding. The tension you feel in your relationships, the misunderstandings, the rejection, these are not random. They are indicators that you've entered a higher level of spiritual visibility. The closer you get to fulfilling divine purpose, the more fiercely the shadows react. But remember, light never retreats. It stands, and darkness must yield. You've probably felt this recently, those strange moments of heaviness for no reason. The sense that you're being watched, the fatigue that comes from nowhere. That's because your spirit is active in battles your eyes can't see. You're not imagining it. You are standing between dimensions, heaven advancing, darkness resisting. But take heart. The very pressure that tries to crush you is confirming that you are carrying something heaven intends to release. The opposition isn't a sign to quit, it's a sign that breakthrough is near. The light within you cannot be dimmed. Even when you feel weak, it burns quietly, steadily, defying every shadow that tries to swallow it. You've faced nights where the darkness seemed endless. But look at you. You're still here. You are living proof that no darkness has authority over one who refuses to bow. This is the season where heaven is calling you to stand firm. Even when you don't feel strong, you are not required to fight in your own strength. You are required to stand. Every time you choose peace instead of panic, prayer instead of gossip, forgiveness instead of revenge, you are striking blows against the kingdom of darkness. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, declare the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That verse is not poetic, it is prophetic. It declares a truth that has been burning since creation. Light does not compete, it conquers. When you carry light, you carry authority. The world may mock it, the enemy may test it, but no darkness can extinguish what heaven has ignited. So when opposition rises, don't collapse under it. Stand taller. Don't waste time trying to explain yourself to those who can't understand your assignment. Some people are meant to witness your transformation, not approve of it. Stop asking the blind to validate your vision. Keep walking. You've been called to walk through seasons where others would have fallen. That's because you're not walking alone. You've been surrounded by an unseen host that fights beside you. Angels are dispatched when you pray. Chains break when you speak truth. You don't see it, but heaven moves when you move. Heaven, even now, heaven is defending you from things you don't know were sent against you. The accident that didn't happen, the betrayal that got exposed, the mental collapse that never came. All of it was divine protection. You are not merely surviving spiritual warfare, you are mastering it. So what should you do now? Guard your light. Feed it with worship. Protect it with prayer. Don't let frustration dim it, and don't let fear silence it. You are a carrier of divine fire, and the world needs your flame. Right now, pause for a moment. Place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating, it's the rhythm of purpose, the pulse of heaven inside a fragile frame. Every beat says, you're still chosen. You're still protected. You're still burning. And as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 5 below. This number represents divine grace multiplied. Heaven's reminder that where light shines, grace increases. Every time you see it, remember that grace surrounds you like armor. turning every attack into advancement. After you comment, breathe in slowly. Say quietly, "My light will not go out." Let that declaration echo through your soul. Share this message with someone whose light is flickering. They need to know that their glow still matters. You were never meant to blend in with the shadows. You were meant to expose them. The warfare that surrounds you is only proof of the brilliance you carry. You are not losing. You are glowing under pressure. You are not being broken. You are being revealed. And though darkness may roar, it cannot swallow the one who carries the light of the living God. There's a quiet danger that hides behind waiting delay. Not the holy kind of waiting where God teaches patience, but the kind that slowly numbs your spirit. You tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow." You promise, "I'll start when I feel ready." Yet somehow, tomorrow never comes. Days slip through your fingers like sand, and purpose waits at the door, whispering your name while you keep saying, "Not yet." The truth is, delay feels safe. It feels rational. You convince yourself that you're waiting for confirmation, for a better season, for a clearer sign. But deep down, you already know the answer. Heaven has already spoken, you just haven't moved. And in that stillness, opportunities decay. It's like standing on the edge of a river while the water rushes by. The current of destiny is moving, but hesitation holds your feet to the shore. You feel the pull of purpose, yet the fear of failure roots you in place. Every moment you wait, the river keeps flowing. Purpose doesn't stop, it passes. Think of Noah. When God told him to build an ark, there was no storm in sight, no thunder in the distance. The skies were clear. But Noah didn't wait to see rain. He built anyway. Every hammer strike was an act of obedience in a world that mocked him for believing in something unseen. And when the floods came, obedience became his rescue. You, too, are being asked to build before you see the storm, to prepare before you understand, to move before you feel ready. Because faith is not about comfort, it's about courage. Every time you delay, a piece of your peace fades. The someday you keep talking about has quietly stolen your strength. Heaven's timing isn't waiting for your convenience, it's waiting for your obedience. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 3. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. This is not an excuse to procrastinate. It's a reminder that God's timing never delays, only ours does. When heaven moves, it expects you to move with it. The danger isn't missing the call, it's missing the moment. You've been sensing the nudge, start that thing, speak that truth, forgive that person, step into that ministry, write that book, reach out to that soul. But each time you hesitate, the noise of doubt grows louder. You tell yourself you need more time, more money, more signs. But obedience doesn't require resources, it creates them. Sometimes faith looks like stepping into the dark, trusting that God will turn the next step into ground. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you, he only needs to distract you long enough for you to miss the door God already opened. Procrastination is not peace, it's quiet rebellion disguised as logic. You don't mean to disobey, you're just afraid of what obedience might cost. But the cost of delay is always greater. Picture a candle burning low in a quiet room. The flame is small, fragile, almost gone. Then someone opens the window, and the rush of air reignites it brighter than before. That's what obedience does, it brings fresh oxygen to your fire. Delay suffocates it, obedience fuels it. So here's what I want you to do right now. Take a step, even a small one. Send that message, make that call, start that project, pray that prayer. Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it with movement. And as you take that step, if this message stirs your spirit, I ask you to do something simple yet meaningful. If you feel this word has spoken to you, like it, so it reaches another soul who's hesitating in silence. Share it, so the message doesn't stop with you. Someone out there is standing on the same edge you once stood on. They need a push of faith. Subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss the next wave of words heaven will send your way. This isn't just content, it's a continuation of divine conversation. Stay in the flow, and if your heart feels lit, donate not as payment, but as participation. Your giving is like pouring oil into the lamp that keeps this flame burning brighter for others. Every seed you sow becomes a spark that lights someone else's night. No act of faith is wasted. Every click, every share, every gift is part of something much bigger than algorithms and screens. It's an invisible ripple that reaches hearts you'll never meet, but heaven counts everyone. You've delayed long enough. The season of waiting is closing. The moment to move is now. Don't just watch the river of destiny pass by, step in. The water will make way for you. And when you move, even the impossible will have to rearrange itself to make room for your obedience. There comes a point in every journey where the path narrows, and you find yourself standing at the edge, the place between mercy and judgment, between what was and what could still be. You feel the tension in your chest, that quiet pull between grace that calls you forward and guilt that drags you backward. This is the borderland of transformation, the place where heaven whispers, "Stop here. Look again." You've been walking heavy lately, carrying memories that still sting, mistakes that replay in your mind like old echoes refusing to fade. You've whispered to yourself, "If only I had done it differently." You've judged yourself for seasons of confusion, for prayers unanswered, for times when you fell short. But listen closely, heaven is not replaying your failures. You are. You keep revisiting scenes where you think you ruined everything, but mercy keeps rewriting those pages when you're not looking. God doesn't stand over you with a gavel. He kneels beside you with grace. The trial ended long ago, yet you keep putting yourself back on the witness stand, testifying against your own soul. It's time to stop. You've been your own accuser for too long. You've built prisons from memories, verdicts from pain, and chains from guilt. And yet, mercy has been standing at the door this whole time, whispering, "You can leave now." The truth is, mercy always meets you at the edge, never before you need it, never after you've lost it. It appears right when you think you're too far gone. That's the power of divine love. It finds you in the in-between. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Micah, chapter 7, verses 18 and 19. "Who is a God like you, who pardons sin and forgives transgression? You will again have compassion on us. You will tread our sins underfoot and hurl all our iniquities into the depths of the sea." Those words are not gentle comfort, they are a thunderclap of grace. They reveal a God who doesn't just forgive from a distance, but steps into the courtroom of your guilt, crushes the evidence under his feet, and throws every charge into the depths where it can never surface again. That's mercy at the edge, the place where justice pauses and compassion takes command. You may have been walking close to that edge lately, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. You've looked down at the drop below, the weight of regret pulling at your feet. But look again. You are not standing at the edge of destruction. You are standing at the edge of redemption. The same cliff that seemed to end your story is where mercy begins to rebuild it. When you reach this place, there are only two choices: to step back into guilt or to fall forward into grace. One will imprison you, the other will resurrect you. Mercy is not weakness. It's the fiercest force in heaven. It doesn't erase truth. It rewrites endings, God never asked you to be your own judge. He asked you to be his child. So why keep sentencing yourself when the judge has already declared you free? You're standing at the edge, trembling between condemnation and compassion. And heaven is saying, stop here. Don't take another step without releasing the verdict. This is your stop at the edge moment. Before you go any further, before you make another decision or spiral into another wave of guilt, pause. Right here, right now. Mercy has something to say to you. It says, drop the verdict. Stop labeling yourself by what went wrong. Stop replaying the mistakes that grace already covered. Stop letting shame write your narrative when God already changed the script. You've been speaking words over yourself that heaven never spoke. I'm too broken. I missed my chance. I'll never get it right. But God calls you redeemed. He calls you restored. He calls you mine. You don't have to climb your way back into grace. You just have to stop resisting it. Mercy is not earned, it's embraced. Right now, at this very edge, heaven is extending its hand to you. Don't rush past this moment. Don't run back into the storm of self-condemnation. Stop and breathe. Let mercy meet you right here. Here's what I want you to do, the stop at the edge pause. Take one deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs. Proof that you are still chosen to live. Close your eyes and whisper softly, I drop the verdict. Say it until your heart believes it. Say it until the guilt loses its grip. Say it until peace becomes louder than shame. Then just sit there, in the quiet, with no judgment, no noise. Let mercy do what it's been waiting to do, embrace you. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to explain your past to anyone. Just stop. Just breathe. Just let grace hold you at the edge. And when you're ready to stand again, do so gently. Don't rush. You're crossing from self-condemnation into compassion, from striving into surrender. Mercy is not found in moving faster, it's found in stopping long enough to see that you were never alone. So pause here. Chosen one, drop the verdict. Stand at the edge and let mercy speak louder than your memories. You are not too far gone. You are standing where redemption begins. There comes a moment when heaven stops asking and starts commanding. The whispers that once comforted you begin to carry weight, urgency, and authority. The same voice that once said, rest, now says, rise. You sense it deep in your bones, a shift from being called to being sent. For too long, you've been standing still, waiting for perfect peace before taking the next step. But there are times when peace only appears after movement. The water did not part for Israel until their feet touched it. The miracle waited for motion. And now, heaven is calling you to move not in panic, not in haste, but in obedience. You've been through the wilderness of self-doubt, the valley of hesitation, the storm of confusion. Yet even in those seasons, God has been preparing you quietly. Every unanswered prayer shaped humility. Every delay built endurance. Every heartbreak purified your motives. And now, every scar you carry has become proof that you're ready for the command. You've prayed for confirmation, but heaven is not sending another sign, it's giving you a command, go. This is not the soft invitation of calling. This is the sacred weight of obedience. There's a difference between being called and being commanded. A calling invites, a command requires. When God commands, it's because the time for preparation has ended and the time for purpose has begun. The world around you is shifting faster than you realize. The old systems are breaking. The familiar foundations are shaking. And in the middle of it all, heaven is raising voices that cannot be silenced. Voices that will speak truth, walk boldly, and shine light in places forgotten by comfort. You are one of those voices. That's why the pressure has been so intense. That's why you felt isolated. Heaven was stripping away the noise so that when the command came, you would recognize the tone. God's voice doesn't echo in comfort. It resounds in surrender. This is what the command to rise feels like. It interrupts the familiar. It dismantles excuses and it silences fear. It says, enough waiting, enough doubting. It's time. When God commanded Joshua to lead after Moses, he didn't offer a gentle suggestion. He declared, arise, go over this Jordan. Joshua didn't feel ready. How could anyone feel ready to fill the shoes of a prophet? Yet readiness has never been heaven's requirement. Obedience has. God never asked you to be fearless before moving. He commands you to move so that fear loses its hold. Think of Gideon, trembling behind the winepress, convinced he was too small to make a difference. Heaven didn't wait for his confidence to bloom. It simply said, go in the strength you have. And in that obedience, heaven multiplied what was little into victory. You, too, may be standing behind your own winepress, hiding behind doubts, rehearsing all the reasons you can't. But the same God who called Gideon from obscurity now commands you to rise. There is something divine waiting to move through you, not around you. This command isn't a punishment, it's a promotion. Heaven trusts you with responsibility because you proved faithful in refinement. The years that looked like silence were actually training. You've learned to pray when no one saw, to worship when no one clapped, to forgive when it hurt most. Those invisible victories gave you the authority to rise now without apology. When heaven commands awe, hesitation becomes rebellion. You can't wait for perfect circumstances. Obedience creates them. The miracle is already written. It's just waiting for your yes. The ancient words echo through the centuries in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. That's not a metaphor, it's a mandate. Heaven is not asking you to shine, it is commanding you to. You don't negotiate light, you release it. Every time you hide your gift out of fear of rejection, you dim the radiance God intended to heal others through you. You were not called to blend into the darkness, you were born to illuminate it. When God says arise, it's not just a call to stand, it's a call to step, to leave behind the safety of what's known and walk into what's promised. You may not see the full path, but obedience reveals it one step at a time. You've spent enough time apologizing for your anointing, shrinking your voice so others feel comfortable in their mediocrity. But grace does not apologize for shining. Glory does not whisper to avoid attention. You were not designed for smallness, you were designed for divine expression. The command to rise means that heaven has already provided what you need. You're not waiting for resources, resources are waiting for your movement. When you step, provision steps too. And yet, this rising is not about power or recognition, it's about surrender. True authority flows from yieldedness. You rise not by striving, but by obeying. The most powerful posture in the kingdom is not standing tall, it's standing available. So rise not because you figured it all out, but because the one who called you is faithful. Rise not because you feel strong, but because his strength is perfect in your weakness. Rise not because the world understands you, but because heaven has already assigned you. You are no longer being asked to believe, you are being commanded to become. And when you do, the world around you will shift. The same light that exposes darkness will guide others home. The same fire that once frightened you will now fall upon you. Rise, chosen one. You are not being called, you are being commissioned. Heaven has spoken, and the command is clear. Stand, move, shine. Fire is never comfortable. It purifies by consuming, shapes by stripping, refines by heat. When you pray for strength, heaven often answers with fire because real strength is not built in comfort, it's born in the flame. You are standing in one of those seasons now, the kind that burns away what can't stay and exposes what is eternal. This is not punishment, it's preparation. You prayed for purpose, and heaven responded with pressure. You asked for clarity, and heaven gave you confrontation with yourself, your patterns, and your fears. Every flame that touches you is designed to reveal what cannot be destroyed. It's easy to worship when blessings overflow, but real faith emerges when the fire refuses to relent. When everything that once made sense begins to fall apart, the question is no longer, why is this happening, but what is God forming in me through this? Think about gold. It looks like any other stone until it's refined. The fire doesn't create its value, it reveals it. When the heat intensifies, impurities rise to the surface not to shame the metal, but to purify it. In the same way, the fire in your life isn't here to destroy you, it's here to expose the gold heaven hid within you. You might feel like you're walking through flames right now, relationships tested, finances shaken, prayers unanswered. You've asked, God, when will this end? But the truth is, the fire doesn't end when you're tired of it. It ends when it's finished its work. Every tear you've cried in the heat of trial has been counted. Every breath you've forced yourself to take through pain has been sacred. The fire is not random, it's targeted. It burns away pride, fear, and control until only surrender remains. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, from verse 2, "When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." That promise doesn't say you won't face the fire. It says you won't be consumed by it. You may feel the heat, but you'll emerge without the smell of smoke. That's the mystery of divine fire. It burns everything except you. Consider the 3 Hebrew men in Babylon. They didn't escape the furnace, they were preserved inside it. The same fire that destroyed their enemies became the stage where God's presence appeared visibly. That's what's happening in your life right now. The fire that should have ended you is becoming the proof that you carry divine protection. Sometimes the fire is not around you, but within you. It's the holy restlessness that won't let you stay small. The burning in your spirit that says, I can't go back to who I was. That inner flame is heaven's signal that transformation is active. You've been asking for comfort, but comfort would only cool the fire prematurely. God loves you too much to let you leave the furnace half-formed. The fire you're in now is the birthplace of your next authority. You are not being ruined. You're being refined. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, your gold shines brighter. Every time you praise through tears, the dross falls away. Every time you trust when you can't trace His hand, heaven forges something unshakable inside you. When you finally emerge, you will understand that the fire was never your enemy. It was your anointing in disguise. The same flames that terrified you are the ones that will testify for you. People will see the glow of endurance on your face and wonder how you made it through. And you will say, I didn't survive the fire, I was refined by it. So if you feel the heat tonight, don't run. Stay. Let the fire finish its holy work. Let the pain become your teacher, not your tormentor. Every degree of heat is heaven's hand shaping the unbreakable version of you. And when the flames subside, what remains will be unshakable, untouchable, unstoppable, a covenant of fire sealed between you and God. Now take a breath. Reflect on this truth: what the fire cannot destroy, it sanctifies. As a prophetic act of agreement, comment the words, I am refined. Write it not as a declaration of pain, but of purpose. When you type those words, you're not glorifying the fire, you're glorifying the one who walks with you through it. You're saying to heaven, I trust the process. I will not fear the flame. After you write it, take a quiet moment. Place your hand over your chest and feel your heartbeat. That rhythm is proof that even in the furnace, you are sustained. Like the gold that gleams brighter after every burning, your spirit is being prepared for a weight of glory you couldn't carry before. Remember this, the fire is not your ending, it's your evidence. You are not being punished, you are being purified. You are not being broken, you are being built. And when the fire releases you, the world will see the reflection of heaven shining from your life. There comes a time when the greatest awakening does not arrive in fire or thunder, but in silence. You've walked through noise long enough, opinions, fears, expectations, screens, chaos. The world screams for your attention, and your spirit has grown tired of listening. You are surrounded by constant motion, yet something inside you keeps whispering, be still. The awakening you long for won't come from more information. It will come from transformation. And transformation begins in quiet. The noise around you has become like static that drowns out heaven's frequency. Every scroll, every argument, every distraction pulls your soul further from clarity. It's not that God isn't speaking, it's that there's too much interference. You keep praying, Lord, speak to me. But heaven has been whispering. First, clear the noise. The voice of God is not missing, it's muffled. You cannot hear the divine in the middle of constant stimulation. Your soul needs a Sabbath, a sacred silence where heaven can breathe again. When Elijah stood in the mountain cave, the wind came, the earthquake came, the fire came, but the Lord was not in them. Then came the still, small voice. That whisper carried more power than the storm, more direction than the fire, more truth than the shaking. Heaven didn't shout over the chaos, it waited until Elijah stopped to listen. That same silence is calling you now. The Spirit spoke through the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 27. The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even tempered. Knowledge speaks, wisdom listens, understanding rests. The greatest warriors in the spirit realm are not the loudest, they are the most disciplined. They don't shout to prove their faith, they live it quietly, consistently, powerfully. This is the awakening of the remnant, not through noise, but through discipline. The chosen are not rising on waves of emotion, they are awakening through small, faithful actions. Heaven is building an army of quiet ones, steady, obedient, grounded. It starts with one simple act: silence. Not the silence of despair, but the silence of focus. The silence that clears the fog from your spirit and opens space for revelation. You don't need to shout to move heaven. You need to quiet yourself long enough to hear its rhythm. The enemy knows this. That's why distraction is his favorite weapon. He doesn't have to destroy you, he only has to keep you busy. If he can fill your ears with constant noise, he'll rob you of the ability to discern. The loudest voice isn't always true. The truest voice rarely shouts. Every great awakening begins with quiet. Moses had the desert, David had the cave, Paul had the prison. Even Jesus withdrew to the wilderness not to escape, but to realign. Silence was never a sign of absence. It was preparation for assignment. You've been asking for revelation, but heaven is asking for discipline. It's not another emotional surge that will awaken you. It's the steady rhythm of small obedience. Wake early and sit with the stillness. Turn off the endless chatter. Replace the noise with prayer that listens more than it speaks. Discipline will do what inspiration never can. It will sustain your fire long after emotion fades. You don't need to wait for motivation. You need to build momentum. Start small. Create moments where silence becomes sacred, where stillness becomes strength. That's where heaven starts to rebuild your inner world. Here's your call to practice: clean the noise. Choose intentional silence. Start by turning off what feeds your confusion. Step away from voices that drain your spirit. Unplug from endless scrolling, unnecessary comparison, and conversations that bring no peace. You don't have to disappear, you just have to disconnect long enough to remember your own voice. Then, awaken not with grand promises or emotional declarations, but with small disciplines. Set an early alarm not to rush, but to sit. Open the morning with a single prayer of gratitude. Read a verse slowly until it breathes inside you. Write down what you hear, even if it's only a whisper. Let discipline awaken what emotion cannot sustain. This is how the remnant rises, not in noise, not in crowds, but in quiet consistency. The strongest believers are not always the loudest worshipers. They are the ones who keep walking when no one is watching. When you practice intentional silence, your soul becomes like a tuned instrument. Every note of guidance from heaven resonates clearly. You begin to see what matters, to feel peace in what once caused panic, to hear direction in what once felt like confusion. And when you live this way, your presence alone begins to carry stillness. People around you will notice that peace follows you not because life is easy, but because your heart has learned its rhythm. So today, take one small step toward awakening. Find a quiet corner, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10. No phone, no noise, just you and God. Sit. Breathe. Let your thoughts settle like dust after a storm. Don't try to fix anything, just be. In that stillness, you'll realize something profound. Heaven has been waiting, not for your words, but for your silence. And as you practice this discipline, peace will no longer be a feeling that visits, it will become the atmosphere you live in. The noise outside will continue, but inside you will remain unmoved, anchored in stillness, awakened by discipline, guided by peace. The world is loud, but the chosen are quiet. The loudest sermon your life can ever preach is the calm you carry when everything around you is shaking. You don't need to do more. You need to be more present. You don't need to shout to be powerful. You need to be silent enough to hear the whisper of heaven and obey it. That is how awakening begins. You've walked through the silence, the fire, the weight of calling. You've stood at the edge where mercy met you and obedience reshaped you. And now, as dawn begins to break across your horizon, something within you knows you've changed. You don't see the world the same. You don't even breathe the same. The night didn't destroy you, it redefined you. This is what it means to be crowned and unshakable. The crown is not gold or jeweled, it's invisible, carved into your spirit through every trial you've survived. You wear it when you forgive instead of fight, when you hope again after disappointment, when you choose faith even while trembling. That's royalty heaven recognizes. The refining has ended. The weight has shifted. The ashes that once covered you have become the soil where new purpose is growing. And though the world may not see the transformation, heaven does. You are standing in the quiet glow of victory, not loud or boastful, but steady like the first light after a storm. This final season of your awakening is not about striving, but about standing. The world shakes, but you no longer do. The winds change direction, but you remain grounded, rooted in the lessons the journey taught you. You have learned that peace is not the absence of storms, it's the presence of God within them. When David wrote his Psalms, he didn't sing only after victory, he sang in the caves, in the confusion, in the tension between promise and fulfillment. That's where the crown is formed, not in the palace, but in the process. The Apostle James wrote words that summarize the very heartbeat of your story. It is written in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. You have stood the test. You have persevered when quitting would have been easier, and heaven honors endurance more than perfection. Look at your life now. How many things you once thought would break you have actually built you. The betrayals became bridges. The losses became lessons. The waiting became worship. Every scar is proof that the fire was real. But so was the grace that carried you through it. Now, as you stand crowned in quiet strength, heaven doesn't need your noise, it needs your light. You don't have to announce who you've become. The way you live will speak louder than words. You've become a lighthouse in a stormy world, steady, luminous, guiding others without forcing them. That's your ministry now, to stand unshaken so others remember it's possible. And as you carry that light, remember, lighthouses don't shine to be noticed. They shine so others can find their way home. That's why these words matter, not because they make you feel good, but because they remind you who you are when the night feels long again. If this journey through fire and mercy, silence and obedience has touched your soul, I invite you to help the light keep spreading. If the message has strengthened you, like it not for numbers, but as a signal to heaven that this truth found fertile ground. A single click might be what guides another weary soul to the message they've been praying for. Share it not as routine, but as revelation. Somewhere, someone is sitting on their own edge of surrender, waiting for a sign that mercy still reaches them. Your simple act of sharing could be that sign. If you've walked this far with these words and found your spirit awakened, subscribe. Stay connected, not to a voice, but to a flow, a current of divine reminders that will keep your faith burning steady when life cools it down. Every message is a drop of oil for the lamps of the chosen, keeping the fire alive in the midnight hour. And if you feel led, if your heart stirs with gratitude, donate. Not as a transaction, but as transformation. Giving isn't losing, it's planting. Every seed you sow becomes part of the soil that grows messages like these words that reach the broken, the searching, the almost giving up. You may never meet them, but heaven will count you among those who help them stand again. You don't give to a platform, you give to purpose. You're not fueling noise, you're fueling light. Now, before this moment ends, pause. Reflect on everything you've endured, the nights that nearly swallowed you, the prayers that felt unanswered, the fires that seemed endless, and see yourself now still standing, still breathing, still believing. That's victory. Not loud, not flashy, but holy. The kind of victory that cannot be taken away because it was never built on circumstances, it was built on surrender. If your heart feels it, leave a comment below. Write whatever comes honestly, maybe still standing, maybe thank you, Lord. Sometimes your words will be the confirmation someone else is praying for. Don't underestimate how your small testimony can echo in eternity. The crown you carry isn't just yours, it's generational. Others will find courage through your endurance, faith through your resilience, healing through your story. So keep standing, keep shining, keep giving heaven something to brag about. You are not just surviving this life, you are shaping it into testimony. You are not just chosen, you are crowned. And when the next storm comes, and it will remember what you carry, you are the calm after chaos, the fire that didn't die, the light that darkness could not overcome. Your journey was never meant to end in ashes. It ends in glory. And now, we reach this quiet place where words slow down and meaning breathes on its own. You've walked through revelation and reflection, through fire and mercy, through stillness and command. But what happens next is not for these words to decide, it's for you to live. This is not an ending, it's a doorway. The message was never meant to contain you, it was meant to awaken you. Whatever you do from here, whether you take a single step or pause a little longer, heaven will still meet you there. There's no pressure, no demand to prove that you've changed. Growth rarely looks dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as breathing a little deeper, forgiving a little quicker, or showing kindness even when it costs you nothing. Transformation is not measured by noise but by quiet consistency. You may not know exactly what tomorrow looks like, and that's okay. You don't need to rush clarity, you just need to keep walking with awareness. Life unfolds gently for those who listen. If something in these words found you, let it rest. Don't overthink it. Carry it lightly. Let the truth unfold like dawn, slow, certain, inevitable. You don't need to become someone new overnight. You only need to stay open. Maybe in a few days, a sentence from this journey will return to you, like a seed you forgot you planted, and when it does, notice it. Water it. Let it grow. Whether you return here again or move forward in silence, remember you are seen, you are loved, and you are never far from grace. Let the words fade now, so your own voice can rise. And when you're ready, step quietly into what waits beyond this moment.